All right, y'all. So this one is specifically for poppers and people that are interested in popping, street dance community. So this is a decade-long discussion. I mean, decades long, I should say. Is like the main question is, what is popping? What is actual popping? And there's so many different schools of thought on this, so many different ideas of what it is. Is it a technique? Is it a style? What is it? And in the name of history is usually told by the ones who won the war, right? Which history books are written by the narrative of people who have won the battles. This is just throughout history in general, right? The people that conquered, or the people that became victorious. Well, you could say the same for the street dance world as well, right? Not everybody's narrative was told. And we're always trying to pay respect to our elders, but we don't necessarily know where to place the respect, because the narrative is blurred, it's changed, it's new people come in and try and claim this and claim that. And so in this video, I'm not really gonna try and tell you exactly okay, I found the truth, right? You can only say as much as people's different perspectives of what popping is. And having taken Poppin' Pete's class last night, man, shout out to Poppin' Pete. Not only do I felt like I got an incredible amount from the class, I just like him as a person, you know? He's a good guy. I had the pleasure of talking with him for a little while after the class too, but as far as popping, I wanted to share with y'all a story, and I shared this story with him as well, just to give you a little bit of perspective of what I think a lot of us have gone through in this journey if you've been in popping for a minute. So like at this time in my life, this was, I want to say 6 years ago. So it was my first trip to Europe, and I was just kind of going with the wind per se. And I was really, really broke at the time, and I was just basically trying to stretch my Europe trip out as far as possible. I was kind of living out of a backpack and meeting people in places, crashing on couches, all that, you know. And so to get to the story, I was in Rome, and at the time, and Mofak hits me up, and he's like, yo, there's a battle in my hometown in Marseille, France. Bro, come out, it's gonna be dope, there's a good prize, you got a good shot at winning this. And I said, oh, okay, you know, first question, first, who's the judge, right? And he said, oh, Poppin' Pete's the judge. And I said, oh, word, yeah, no, I've talked to him in the past, you know, he always said he enjoyed what I did. And at that point, I had some accolades, you know. I had been winning battles in LA for a little bit. I had won a couple overseas battles, and I was like, okay, let's test out Europe, you know, this will be my first battle in Europe. So I go from Rome, I fly from Rome to Marseille, France, and Mofak puts me up. Shout out to Mofak, and shout out to Devo for letting me crash with him. And so I'm at this battle, right? And it's like, there's like 20 entries in the battle, and it's a good prize. It's like, you know, I think it was over $1,000 prize. 20 entries. They cut it to top 16, I believe. And I do my round or whatever. I felt like it wasn't my best, but I always feel like that. So then Poppin' Pete is the only judge. So then I show up to the main stage because we had prelims first in another location. Show up to the main stage, and I'm one of the 4 people that didn't make it out of 20. And I'm looking at the top 16 like, really? Now, there was some talent. There was some real talent in that top 16. But there were some people that shouldn't have been there either. Like, not shouldn't have been there, but I would have been like, I don't know. I'm not trying to float my own boat, but it was just kind of, whoa, you know. I didn't do better than that. I saw their prelim round, you know. And so I go, wow, man, Poppin' Pete didn't put me past the prelims. And I was one of the 4. And it messed me up for a long time. I was just like, one, I didn't understand. I was kind of upset at Poppin' Pete for that, because I felt like, oh, he must just not like me or something, you know. Because all my history of battling in LA and battling everywhere was that what I was doing was popping. Like, that's the type of battles that I entered, was popping battles. And now all of a sudden I enter this popping battle, and I've won all these places, and yet now I'm not making it past prelims. One of the 4 that didn't make it past prelims. I was like, dang, I don't know, man. And I was so upset. I didn't have much at all at the time. I was living out of the backpack. I was like, I didn't even know the next place I was going. I knew I had to get to Paris to see Stakos, but that was it. And I knew I had a place to crash there, so it was just a wild time. So then I told Pete this story last night, and it clicked to me. It clicked to me in the class when he's describing what popping is, that I go, wow, I'm not a popper. And some may say I am or whatever, but I am not a popper in the traditional sense of his definition, right? Some may say the definition based on their history, right? And I was like, okay, you know, popping as specifically the style and technique, not the umbrella term. In Poppin' Pete's eyes, there is no umbrella term, right? And I really get that perspective now. I get it. I know what popping is. And it's so weird because you're talking about popping was an aspect of that time. It's an aspect. So Poppin' Pete tells me, oh, when somebody would ask you, oh, yo, what style you do? Well, I pop, I tut, I wave. They were all separate out, right? And now you could have people from the same era, maybe even later, right? Mid 80s or whatever, that are saying that just group it all into popping or pop locking or da-da-da. The thing is, I'm gonna say this with the utmost respect. Fuck all those words. No, but language is limited in telling the story. When we sum up a complex technique in one word, it loses its nuance, right? You almost have to tell the story to understand the style. Because popping is just not a technique, because technically if I robot and I'm really stiff, say I eliminate the groove, the curvature that we associate with groove, and I'm popping in the traditional sense, tricep, chest, neck, snapping the legs back, that's popping. If I do that in a robotic form, it's not the style, the essence of popping. That's crazy, right? And I'm saying that from from the perspective that the EBs or Poppin' Pete has, and then you have other people that associate poppin' with all these other styles, right? But let's take it from a real credible source. Let's take it from an OG that deserves the utmost respect, that's been in the game for a long time, right? A long time, seen a lot of people come and go, right? He's been in the game at the top for a long time. So we take his word with extra weight, not just some Joe Schmo that happened to pop in the early 80s, right? And then comes back to the scene asking for his pat on the back. I'm talking about an OG that stood the test of time and is still pushing his level, okay? So, with the utmost respect for that, we have to take that into consideration. So when I said fuck all those words, I mean that because it's killed, eliminated a lot of dancers from entering the space and or continuing in the space, because battles were made based off of styles, and that is what started to mess it all up, I believe, right? Is that the battles were created and segmented into dance styles. And then to open it up, to make it economically viable, you have people that are, not every city's gonna have a proper judge to judge the specific style of popping, right? It's specific. There's not gonna be that worldwide, a proper judge, right? And then you start incorporating all these other styles in because, people like to do other styles with popping, So that, I think, convolutes a lot of things. So dime stopping is not popping, although it does accent a hard sound. It does accent a sharp point in time in the music. Dime stops, hard dimes, right? Vibrations, shakes, snaps, all this sort of stuff is accenting music like popping. But popping is specific. It's very subtle, but there is a difference in that. I think it's not economically viable to have a style so specific worldwide, because you don't have the ability to have inclusivity, right? And this is where my opinion comes in. All right, we're getting to the end of this 15-minute video. My opinion is that having and hosting battles based off of style has created in-groups and out-groups. It's created hierarchies. It's created religions. It's created cult-like followings. It's built pedestals. And I can go into more detail on why I think that happened, but what I think might possibly be the solution, this is, and I'm saying all this take this with a grain of salt. This discussion has gone on for decades. A 15-minute video does not do it justice. This is a discussion. I want thoughts, because this is a can of worms, y'all. So when we talk about the future, my proposition is to have battles based on music. So we have R&B battles, we have funk battles, we have house battles, not designated to the style of movement, but designated to the person's love for the music. That eliminates the problem. It eliminates the issue when it comes to, is he doing the style correctly? Is he doing this and that? Is he doing... Nobody cares. Nobody cares except a few. Nobody cares except a few. The majority of people, whether it becomes an audience, we're not going to educate people on all the nuances of a specific style. People just don't have... They got lives. They got other things they want to do. All right? But the people that really love the stuff, they're going to get into that. But people do not care. People want to see people get down. That's it. So when you have the battles based off of music genre, the question is, who'd you like better? Back to subjectivity. But it's not a question of technique or did he fit the box of the style. The question is, did he get down and, in your opinion, better than the person across from him? I believe that is possibly the solution to this, the bitterness that gets propelled through the scene because people don't fit the definitions that seem to change. Maybe aren't changing, but different people have different opinions. This is the solution to that, I believe. It's have people enter battles, because this is a good example. We have all styles battles. What is the biggest complaint from talented dancers even is, oh man, I hate that track. Oh man, that I wasn't feeling that. Even if you enter a popping battle, some people are like, oh man, I don't like popping music, but I guess I'm a popper, right? This is the problem, is that, look, you have people entering these battles that are all styles, are freestyle battles, and they get a track that they don't like. If you enter a genre, the probability, the genre, say we have a genre of music battle, say it's a funk battle. Yo, I'm a fan of funk, so even a house dancer might love funk music. So they enter that arena, and you have two people going at it that love that type of music. It brings out the best in them. If I enter an R&B battle, I'm a huge fan of R&B. I'm gonna be at my best because that sound moves me. There's been so many times where I've entered popping battles and I'm like, that's not even the music that I practice to or like to listen to, right? There's only a few DJs that I like, that I think really like bring out the pop in me, and that's not a majority, right? But if you play some R&B, I can almost always find that thread in my mind to feel that, you know. That's like that's my roots of dance, is R&B. So, man, this was a long video. Hopefully I'm gonna chop this up anyways, but this is my proposition. You know, we could get into the weeds of like specifically what the style is. I don't think it's that far in the weeds, but there are specific styles, but we eliminate the problem if we're not looking at it from a technical aspect, you know, because then it becomes less like ballroom competitions and it becomes more like street dance, because you have people that love the music and are freestyling to the shit that they love. I don't know, y'all. What are your thoughts? This is just something I felt compelled to share. Shout out to Poppin' Pete. His workshop was incredible. It took a weight off my shoulders, because it really dawned on me like, okay, I'm really not as much of a popper as people put me out to be, as far as the box that I fit in. Maybe we should have a better word to describe what we do, with all the mixture and transitions and the mixture of all these traditional styles into something else. Or do we just have a long list by our name of yo, this was a tut wave tick bop to a you know, I don't know, you're gonna have a long description. Maybe you just can't sum people up in a word. Anyways, this is part one of many. And hopefully we'll get some interviews with some dope people too. So, yo, much love, y'all. Much respect as always. I hope this doesn't come off offensive in any way, because everybody's got their history and everybody's got their story. But this is the stuff that needs to be hammered out, because history is not always so clear. So anyways, I'm gonna have to post this on YouTube. This is hella long. Much love. Have a great day. Peace.